good morning. What's happening?
The NBA has a new face. Move over, LeBron, your history.
Don't do that. I thought Kawhi was the face.
Zion just took the whole league over last night. I'm sorry, it's over, LeBron.
Hold on, we shout and get pom-poms out and get popcorn for L's? I don't serve popcorn at my restaurant. I don't serve, when you come get the L's, you don't get no popcorn.
If that man could have finished that game, the L would have been on my Spurs. I'm sorry.
I don't
you know it and I know.
I don't know what he could have done or should have done. I'm just telling you what happened.
Yeah, okay.
We're going to get there. We have a huge show today. Should the 49ers thank Bill Belichick for their trip to the Super Bowl? And will Eli Manning end up in the Hall of Fame when it's all said and done? But first, we do have to start with the guy that we all watched last night, Zion Williamson's debut. The #1 overall pick did not disappoint in his first game with the Pelicans, dropping 22 points in only 18 minutes, including a wild stretch of 17 straight points in the fourth quarter that included 4 threes and some impressive post moves. Zion would then be pulled for the final stretch because of a minutes restriction, and the Spurs would go on to win 121-117. New Orleans fans were left chanting, "We want Zion," a plea that head coach Alvin Gentry definitely heard. Take a listen.
And no, he couldn't go back in the game. Okay, so that don't go there. All right, just because the medical people said that was it.
It's very hard. I'm 19. Honestly, in that moment, I'm not thinking about longevity. I'm thinking about winning that game. So it was very tough. Just the energy the crowd brought, the energy the city brought. It was electric, and I'm just grateful that they did that. So it was a dream come true to finally get out there, but at the end of the day, I didn't want to win, so I just got to look the next game.
Wants to win as well, Shannon. How impressed were you by his debut?
I was shocked by it, Skip, given that that he was only going to play probably about 20 minutes. And you know you get 20 minutes in 4 quarters, Skip. It's hard to catch a rhythm. You play 3 minutes here, you play 4 minutes there, you play 5 minutes, you play another 3. And so it was hard for him to get a rhythm. If you think about it, Skip, he only took 3 shots in the first 3 quarters. Sports are about rhythm. And you hear guys talk about it all the time. I got a rhythm early, I got going early, and everything flowed after that. And so he wasn't in a rhythm. And then the start of the fourth, all of a sudden, he found that rhythm. And so I was shocked, Skip. I think my stat line was like 10. I thought he'd have 10 points, 6 rebounds, 2 dunks, 2 blocks. So I was shocked with how well he played and the amount of time that he played. But I think the most shocking things were the threes, Skip. We never saw this at Duke. Now, moving forward, I'm not so sure they're going to let him have shoot-around open threes. I think the guys will probably, I'm not saying that you got to guard him like Steph Curry and Kevin Durant or Klay Thompson, but it's hard for me to imagine that guys are going to leave him 7, 8, 9, 10 feet open to shoot a 3 like he's shooting in shoot-around. But I was surprised. What I wasn't surprised to see, Skip, is that he's going to get those effort plays. A loose ball around the basket, oh, he's going to grab that and go back up so quick. He missed one. I mean, he can bounce. He can leave the floor, miss a shot, come down, back up again as good as anybody, as quick as anybody that I've ever seen. So I wasn't surprised. They throw him a lob, Skip. He's over the top of everybody. That didn't surprise me. Him getting a ball in a close, restricted area, quick move to the basket, that didn't surprise me. The threes surprised me in how they came, considering that he was not in a rhythm early. So I'm not going to overreact. Now, this is not Steph Curry or Kevin Durant or Klay Thompson shooting threes. Let's not overreact. This is not going to be a big part of his ball game. But what he did show, if you leave me open by 5, 6, 8 feet, I'm going to shoot this shot. It's going to kind of be like LeBron, Skip. What did he do? Play off him until he can consistently make it. Well, that's what they're going to do with this kid here, Zion. But I was impressed. It's hard not to be impressed. To get 17 points, straight points, in that little bit of time when you don't have a rhythm, just goes to show you once he gets his legs more up under him, he gets his wind more up under him, and he gets to playing in that type of a setting, yeah, he can be, Skip, I never questioned the guy's ability. You know what I questioned. And last night was probably a sample, a very small sample of what this young man is capable of.
My turn.
Yes.
I wasn't just surprised by what happened in the fourth quarter. I was all-time shocked. I'm not sure I've ever seen anything quite like what I witnessed in a 3-minute span of the fourth quarter of that game last night. Because through 3 quarters, to your point, Zion Williamson had been a literally huge disappointment.
He was.
Yeah.
He had been 285 pounds, and I'm probably being generous there on the low end. He had been 285 pounds of letdown. I was so disappointed that I wanted to turn it off, but I knew I had to hang in because I thought maybe Alvin and the medical people would give him one last little run in the fourth quarter of a game that was completely out of hand at that point, thanks mostly to the Pelicans, who weren't quite ready for that primetime game, because the game for the rest of the Pelicans felt to them like it was a playoff game because the whole NBA world had tuned in to watch them.
Correct.
And they weren't quite yet up to that task because they've been on a little bit of a roll here lately, and my Spurs were rolling over them. So what did I see through 3 quarters? I saw Zion. I saw him be out of sync, maybe a little bit out of shape.
Looked a little lost.
I saw tentative. I saw little confidence. I saw joy less from a kid who's always so joyful when he plays.
Correct.
And Alvin said in his interview in game, God, he's just playing so conservatively. I'm trying to get him out of that.
Right.
And I'm thinking 5 points with 4 ugly turnovers through 3 quarters, not much of a start. And so I had already tweeted, we're just going to have to be patient. Nope, no. Then that happened. I haven't seen an explosion like that, and you'll say I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. This is from my heart. I haven't seen an explosion like that in 3 minutes since MJ and Kobe were in their primes, and I'll tell you why. This is a 3-minute domination that features inside as well as outside. Remember, Klay Thompson holds the all-time one-quarter NBA record. He scored somehow 37 points in a quarter back in 2015 against Sacramento at Golden State. Yet, what was that? It was all catch-and-shoot, heat-check three-point shots that are extraordinary, where you just say, that's impossible.
Right.
But it's just, pew, 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 right?
Yep.
This was both ways, inside and outside. And it was only 3 minutes, and it was only 17. Wait, he scored 17 in 3 minutes? Well, do the math. That's only 1/4 of the quarter.
Right.
Well, if you do 4 times 17, that's 68 points in the quarter. 68 points in a quarter. Again, I'm extrapolating out into madness, but that's what he accomplished, and it felt like a one-man Mardi Gras to me, where he just took over the whole game physically, mentally, emotionally, inside, outside. Yeah. And it felt like he took the Rookie of the Year lead in 3 minutes. That's what, and I know Ja has been extraordinary. I love Ja. You love Ja. But this was a whole nother level from Ja Morant. This was, wait a second, this is a display, as you know, of power and finesse. Of just extreme explosion and athleticism and touch.
Right.
And veteran vision, because he's got veteran. Remember, he played point guard in high school.
Correct.
So he's got veteran vision, and he's still got, once he got into the rhythm and the flow, he's got this childlike energy and joy and desire to play, where it's just explosive desire, like a little kid with a new toy. Well, last night was a kid with a new toy because, remember, the whole world was watching him. And what I loved about him at Duke, did he shrink in the moment? Well, I thought for 3 quarters, maybe he was shrinking. Yeah. Guess what? He is at his greatest when the lights get brightest. And all of a sudden, we looked up, and the Spurs had gone from 15 up to 1 down. When he left the game, they're up a point. How did you do that? The Spurs aren't great this year. Obviously, they're just sort of fighting for the 8th spot like the Pelicans are about to fight for the 8th spot. I think the Pelicans will wind up in the 8th spot. But the point was that the Spurs are pretty good, and he rendered them a bunch of little kids. That's what they look like, just ragdolled all over the place. And if we could go to the play that first caught my eye, this started the explosion. What did I tell you yesterday? I predicted that Zion would dunk. He would posterize my buddy, My buddy Jakob Pertl.
Jakob.
Yeah. Oh, Jakob. And so watch what Zion does to Jakob to start this run. Watch what happens here. Okay, this is, oh, that's the block. Okay, so this is, okay, Jakob blocked his shot. There's a play before this, actually. But okay, Jakob blocks his shot, and to your point,